Good afternoon, good afternoon. You are live with TST Radio. You know who I am. I'm your host, Marcus Johnson. Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to go and get into the show. Some news out of Florida. 3-star running back decommits from Florida. This is going to hurt Florida. Florida is, they're not winning. They're not looking like their offense. Put it like that. Their offense is not really looking good. Their defense is pretty much carrying that team in my eyes. Their defense is really carrying that team, and their offense is still they're not like LSU, but I'll put them a step above LSU. But their offense is nothing different from last year. Moving on, Auburn's Daniel Carlson, semifinalist for the Lou Garza Award. Daniel Carlson is the kicker for Auburn. The guy's had a great year this year. He's been money on just about every kick. So congrats to him. More news in Auburn. Auburn just announced today Auburn will face Pac-12's Washington in the Chick-fil-A Classic opener in 2018. That's something great. You go out and play a out-of-conference team, which is Washington is in the top 4 AP poll, but I think they fell 5 in the college playoffs poll. So that will be good for football, I think, for a great opening game. News in Tuscaloosa, freshman running back B.J. Emmons sprained foot is out indefinitely. That will hurt Alabama is really trying to work on their running game. It's not to what we're used to seeing with Alabama with the 2 great caliber running backs. We have the talent back there, but we're still trying to put it together. B.J. Emmons added a little depth to that running back position. Bo Scarborough, which is ill also. Reports say he is ill, but not real serious. He's day to day. Those 2 really added some depth to that backfield with Damian Harrison starting off and Jacobs getting the rest of the next majority of the carries, and Bo normally cleans it up around the second half. Emmons will do that also. So that's going to add some problems to their depth, but I think they'll work through it. I think Harris and Jacobs can carry the team with those 2 guys the way they're playing on this year. As we reported earlier, as everybody know, Eddie Jackson is out for the season with a fractured leg. I did report Tony Brown will be replaced. We're going to hit Micah Fitzpatrick first. Micah Fitzpatrick will be replacing Eddie Jackson at the safety position. Tony Brown will be replacing Micah Fitzpatrick at the corner position. Like I said on the other day, Nick Saban said he looks natural at the position. Micah Fitzpatrick looked natural at the safety position. He played a lot of it in high school. Reports say Nick Saban said Tony Brown is looking good in practice. He could do a lot of good things for the team. The main part is just keeping him focused on what he has to do to make the team better and get his job done. So keeping him focused. He got us sent home in the playoffs on last year. He has a little trouble with being disciplined. So maybe he can get that together and contribute a lot on the field. On the aspect and special teams with Eddie Jackson, he added a very big he was very big in the special teams and punt return. Xavier Marks and Trayvon Diggs will be one out of the 2 you will see returning punts. You may see both in this game if one doesn't do so good. So, Marks did get a 75-yard return against, who was it? I forgot what team it was. It was one of those layoff games. He got a 75-yard punt return. Trayvon Diggs is, his main position as receiver. You see, he can make some plays and be elusive also. So I'll be waiting to see how that turns out. News in the NFL, Marshawn Lynch, he visited the Seahawks locker room for the first time since he retired. He wasn't there to negotiate about playing again. He wasn't showing interest in playing again. He was there. He was in town for retired ex Seahawks receiver Ricardo Lockett's charity launch. He was there showing his guy Ricardo Lockett some love, and he decided to stop by and holler at his old friends. So nothing to that with him coming back to play. Get into some high school football. Tonight we'll kick off Alabama High School 6A state playoffs. Lanier Poets is set out to face the number 3 Daphne Trojans tonight at Crampton Bowl, 7 p.m. 6 Central Time. Lanier is number 2 right now in their region. Like I said, Daphne is number 3 in their region. So that should be a great matchup. If I don't make that game, I will be sure to keep it updated on Twitter and Facebook. You can find that at True Sports Talk Radio on Facebook and True Sports Talk on Twitter. So make sure you go out and follow us and stay updated if you're a fan of the Lanier Poets or Daphne Trojans. Moving on to NBA basketball. As you know, the Warriors will face the Thunder on tonight. This will be the first regular season game. KD will be facing his ex-team, the Thunder. This is a high anticipated game. Everybody has been waiting to see this. Westbrook is on a hot start. Triple doubles everywhere. He's raining triple doubles. The guy's dropping dimes out there. The guy's doing his thing out there. So he's carrying the Thunder. He's proven that he can carry the Thunder without Durant, which he proved that in the playoffs. But, you know, the guy is showing what he can do without the assistance of Durant. The Warriors, got Durant. They're off to a fair start, not a good start, but they're also a fair start. You know, they fell to the Spurs on their first game, and they lost I think they lost 2 games already this year. So they're not off to a hot start, but we'll see. This is a high anticipated game. I know Durant will be coming out trying to be very, very aggressive. I know the other guys, his supporting cast on the Warriors, will be there supporting him, playing hard, trying to get him the W against his former team. And I know Westbrook will be doing everything in his power to keep Durant from pulling out the victory for the Warriors. You know, they say Durant and Westbrook haven't had much words since Durant left the team. So we'll see how that playoffs. Will there be any animosity or anything that we will see tonight? But I will be tuned into that. If I don't go out and check out Lanier tonight, I will be tuned in. But if I do go out to that game, I will be recording that Warriors and Thunder game. Moving on, stay with some high school. I want to say congratulations to the Wetumpka boys cross country team. They are 6A sectional champions. I want to say congratulations to them and the coaching staff. Congrats, keep up the good work. That's my alma mater, so I want to give a shout out to those guys. And tomorrow, Wetumpka's football team will be going out to face McAdory in the first round of the playoffs. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time. They will be going up to McAdory to face them. I hope I'll be able to make that game. I hope if I don't, I hope a lot of people make that game. They will need the support. They will need us up there hollering and screaming for them. So let's get out, guys, and support our boys. Moving on to some college football, we're going to get up into our game of the week matchup, Alabama versus LSU. As you know, number 1 Alabama will be going into Death Valley to face LSU on Saturday, CBS, 7 p.m. Central Time. That will be a great game. On last year, Alabama basically killed LSU star running back Leonard Fournette Heisman run. He was top Heisman. After Alabama shut him out under 100 yards rushing, the guy kind of fell in the Heisman run. So that will probably happen again this year. He's not so high in the Heisman run, but he will get shut down again this year. That game on last year was probably the worst game of Leonard Fournette's career. I'm saying from Pee Wee on up. Pee Wee ball, Little League ball on up. That was probably the worst game. And he has to have a great game this year to get LSU over the hump against Alabama. Leonard Fournette, he hasn't had a very, a monster year. He had 2 good games. His last 2 games was great games so far. So, but he's battled with injuries. He had battled with ankle injuries early in the season that caused him to sit out some games. But he came back with something to prove, and he's had some great games, especially the one against Ole Miss. The guy was like a bus. He will need to have the biggest game of his life. Like I said on last year, that was probably the worst game of his life. Now, coming Saturday, he probably will need to have the biggest game of his life against this tough defensive line of the Crimson Tide. I really don't see that happening with that defense. I don't see them running the ball very much. They would not between the tackles. They would need to switch it up, try to get Leonard Fournette to the outside, but that's not really his forte, but he can get outside and make some plays. He has the ability. They will need to get him outside. They will not be able to run through the tackles. I know a lot of people is hyping this game up to be one of those classic games, but I really don't see where the points are being generated for LSU. I really don't. I don't see where the points are being generated. The big matchup to me will be in the trenches. Can LSU block Alabama's defensive line, and can Alabama block LSU defensive line? Not very much up the middle would not probably be a big issue for Alabama, but around those edges, blocking those linebackers and picking up blocks in those defensive ends will probably be a problem for Alabama. Cam Robinson would need to have a big game. He would need to have a big game to pull Alabama over top and keep Jalen Hurts comfortable in the pocket and, give those guys some running room also. So that is our game of the week. I see Alabama pulling this game out, maybe 21-14. 21-14 if LSU scores that many. 28-14 is my prediction. That is our game of the week. Right now, the polls dropped on Tuesday, college football polls. I have 2 guys called in that want to give their input. My guy AJ, I know you know him. He calls in a lot and give us our Troy updates. And I have my guy Justin. He wants to give his input on them also. I'm going to jump into those right now. Coming up first will be AJ. My guy AJ Johnson will be first right here. I'm finna get him playing right now. 1 second.
What's going on, guys, man? It's AJ coming to you guys again with some updates on college football. I'm going to talk today about the college football playoffs. I'm going to tell you the 4 teams they let in, and I'm going to tell you the 4 teams I think they should have used. Because I do kind of agree with the polls, and here's the polls. Another team I think that could possibly pop in there later, I think would be either Ohio State or Louisville, if they both can win out. Auburn also has a slight chance. They just have to win out, and then hope Texas A&M loses to LSU, and they have to beat Alabama at the end of the season in the Iron Bowl, and that's Auburn's only chance. But I think that Alabama at 1, Michigan at 2, Washington at 3, and Clemson at 4 is our best chances. I think that would be the best option. I think that's what it's going to wind up being at the end of the year, and I think that's what it should be right now. All right, thanks, man, for having me on.
That was my guy, AJ Johnson, right there. Appreciate you, man, for calling in. We're going to jump right into my guy Justin's on Spreaker.com/TST Radio. Like I said, I want to thank those guys for calling in. I would love to hear your thoughts on the predictions. Also, if you're listening to me right now, I would love to hear your thoughts and predictions. So hit us up and let us know on our social medias at True Sports Talk Radio on Facebook and True Sports Talk on Twitter. Unfortunately, that is my time for today. I want to thank you for tuning in. I am Marcus Johnson. This is TST Radio. Thank you.